Hi everyone, they will be discussing the co-interior angles. In 2 seconds, can you find the missing angle? Assuming the angle here is 115 degree and you are asked to find this missing angle here. Let's label it A, letter A. Let's label it letter B. So, what answer did you get? Time up. Hope your answer is 65 degree. If your answer is not 65 degree, you are wrong. And that brings us to today's topic, co-interior angles. And what do you understand by co-interior angles? These are angles that are inside two parallel lines and with a transversal. This is a transversal. These are the two angles inside a parallel. These are the parallel line. This and this line is a parallel line. And then this is a transversal. So they are two angles that are inside a parallel line with or have an intersection by a transversal. And this is a transversal. So you can say co-interior angles are pairs of angles on the same side of a transversal line, two parallel lines, and they are always adds up to 180 degrees. And this is what co-interior angles is all about. They are two angles or pair of angles on the same side of a transversal, side two parallel lines. They always adds up to 180. So if you have an idea about or what co-interior angles is all about, you'll be able to know that when 180 degrees subtract 115 degree, you'll be able to get 65 degree. That's why our answer here is 65 degree. Here we have two parallel lines here, and this is a transversal that is intersecting it. So two pairs of angles that are inside this transversal line, the angles inside it are called co-interior angles. Now, growing up, I knew or I learned these co-interior angles with C. Whenever I saw an angle, I would draw a C. Let's have this. We draw a C. Any angle inside this C are co-interior angles, no matter where your C is facing. So you look at this one here. If you draw a C here, our facing here, the angles inside this C are co-interior angles. It doesn't matter where your C is facing. So likewise here, if you look at this angle here, you look this in this, our C is facing here. So any angle, assuming the angles are angle C and angle A, so these two angles, they are always equal to 180 degrees and they are called co-interior angles. Likewise here, you can make our C can be here, D, and any angle, let's say there is angle A and there is angle B inside this C. The sum of these two angles are equals to 180 degree and they are also called co-interior angles. So likewise here too, our C can be here and the angles here A or B, they are sum. If you sum it, you will have 180 degree and they are called co-interior angles. Now, having known what co-interior angles are all about, let's solve some questions. Now, let's find the lettered angles. Having the knowledge of the co-interior angles that I just explained, the letter B here will now be 180 degree subtract 50 degree. Therefore, our B, 180 subtract 50 will have 130 degree. Therefore, B is equals to 130 degree, and which does the co-interior angle of this diagram. Therefore, this B is equals to 130 degree. Let's look at another example. So, using this example now, if you remember what I told you about co-interior angle, let's find where our C is. This is the C. So all the angles inside this C is equals to 180 degree. Therefore, the letter A will now be A is equals to 180 subtract 70 degree. So if 180 subtract 70 degree, we now have our A to be equals to 110 degree. And that's our answer. Assuming we are also given third example to find the angle, lettered angle here, which is angle A, and we are given 150 degrees already. So the co-interior angle here will now be 180 subtract 150 degree. And if we do that, we now have our A to be equals to 30 degree. Therefore, the co-interior angle here, our A here is equals to 30 degree. So if you understood how we solve this, I would like you to solve this one. If you understood how we solve the above diagrams, I would like you to solve this one. Assuming here is angle B and here is 40 degree. What is the value of B? Drop your answer in the comment section and don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Join us in our next episode, which will be so interesting and amazing. Thank you.